In the mountainous area of the northern part of Shanxi province, traces of this thoroughfare can still be clearly seen.
从咸阳从都城通到北部边境，过去没有多少道路的可以移平，那么修一条直道，尽量减少它这个取得，是吧？取其这个进阶，让它能够呢尽快的使部队能够快速的抵达北京，所以专门修了这么一条道路。
The places through which the road passed were mostly dangerous terrain without a trace of human presence, even today. They cut through mountains and filled up valleys. They didn't even detour when passing the Zewu range, which rises to 1,800 meters above sea level. 2,000 years later, this ancient road can still be found, appearing and disappearing. The power of the Qin is evident.
它这个修筑呢，实际上就是在那个山上还是夯筑的。 用黄土夯筑，夯得非常结实。这个咱们现在人有时候都非常难以想象。
The road was so solidly built that even trees couldn't survive on it. Only wild grass grew on its surface. Modern vehicles can still use some parts of the road. In order to prove the truth of descriptions of the road in history books, historians have surveyed traces of it.
这条勘测出来的道路，确确实实基本上是正南正北的，这是和历史记载相符的。
From the capital, Xianyang, the road stretches northward to the heart of the Zhouyuan Desert with a total length of over 700 kilometers, a feat of construction just as awe-inspiring as that of the Great Wall. To the west of Baotou in Inner Mongolia is the Qin city of Zhouyuan, which was the northernmost point of the highway. This city was the northern strategic post of the empire. Army provisions were distributed from here to the hands of soldiers and civilians who were constructing and defending the Great Wall. This more than 700-kilometre long highway ensured that the Qin Empire could send troops and provisions to the north rapidly. Experts estimate that in the case of war breaking out, Qin cavalry could reach Zhouyuan from Xianyang within 3 days and nights. The central government could complete the preparatory work, including army dispatching and transportation of supplies. The thoroughfare was truly a military expressway. Only the Qin people could accomplish such a military engineering feat over 2,000 years ago. After the unification of China, the Qin Empire had a mobilization capability unimaginable for their predecessors. Without mastering precise geodesic surveying techniques, they couldn't have completed these huge projects in so vast an area over such difficult terrain. So did the Qin people really have precise survey techniques? In 1986, archaeologists discovered some ancient tombs in a primeval forest near Tianshui, Gansu province. 7 mud-covered wooden blocks were found in the tomb. No one knew what these blocks were.
一点点把那个泥洗掉以后，才发现有字。首先是发现有字，再洗看，是不是有很多线条？最后慢慢全部清理出来以后，一看，哟，这不是画的是地图吗？
These are the earliest block maps ever found in China. Experts firmly believe these are administrative division maps of a Qin county. If the Qin people had certain geodesic survey techniques, then these maps should tally with at least 6 criteria of quantitative cartography.
当然，除了个比例尺，很明显的比例尺这条没有以外，其他5个标准都具备。地形的起伏、高下、河流的曲直、距离的远近、方位都具备了。
The archaeologists discovered these maps belonged to the head of an army horse ranch. In ancient China, maps were often state confidential materials. The head of such a ranch couldn't possess maps relating to the empire's military engineering. From these maps, we still can't infer exactly how the Qin people carried out engineering surveys, but we believe they must have had advanced engineers.
在那么一个复杂的一个地理环境当中，在那么一个艰苦的条件之下，就是现在都是非常荒凉、人迹罕至的地方，把这么条路修出来了，这很不容易。司马迁当时这个顺着直道啊，这个走的时候，他就发出个感慨，他说：“清明力，对老百姓啊，这个劳动力啊，对老百姓这个看得太轻了。”
Over 2,000 years have passed and the thoroughfare has long been deserted. Only a few children play there sometimes. In fact, the thoroughfare was just one of the links in the Qin Empire's network of highways. In the south of Shanxi province, the high Qinling mountains lie between the heartland of the empire and the Sichuan basin. On both sides of the national road from Shanxi to Sichuan, small regular holes in cliffs can be seen. Over 2,000 years ago, there were wooden or stone brackets inserted in these holes and wooden planks were placed on them. This was the famous Qin plank roadway. The plank roadway on cliffs went several hundred kilometers through the Qinling mountains. Qin people had a tradition of road building, and under the first emperor of Qin, this tradition was brought to new heights. Before and after the unification of the Qin Empire, the Qin people had established the most advanced transportation networks of that time, with their capital, Xianyang, at its center. The territory controlled by the newly rising empire was beyond the imagination of earlier peoples. The radiating highways gave strong support to the fighting Qin army. There's no doubt the Qin people were talented road builders. Roads and vehicles are interdependent. In those years, travelling along these roads were troops bound for the front and vehicles for transporting army provisions. So what about the Qin people's vehicle-making techniques? Unfortunately, the wooden war chariots in the Terracotta army pit had rotted away and so couldn't reveal more details about these techniques. Then, in 1980, 4 years after the excavation of the Terracotta army, archaeologists made a surprising discovery. By the tomb of the first emperor of Qin, they found a large 7 to 8 meter deep pit. In it were 8 broken bronze horses and a large amount of vehicle spare parts. There were also 2 extremely lifelike drivers. These were once 2 complete bronze vehicles. Through hard work, archaeologists managed to restore the broken vehicles to their original state. These 2 bronze vehicles were imitations of the vehicles used by the first emperor of Qin. The structure and form are exactly the same as real ones, except that they're half life size. The wheels are exquisitely made. 30 dense spokes divert the pressure from the weight of the body to the wheels. This made the wheels light but strong. Looking from the side, the spokes near the hub were obviously widened in order to reduce horizontal pressure, just like modern bicycle wheels. The intensely processed hub is impressive. Only 2 ends were connected with the axle. In the middle, there is a barrel-type cavity.
古府里，它这个罐里那个脂膏罐里油比较多一些，啊，
它盛的油出的油比较多一些，这样车它就走动起来，它就滑匀了，就是车速比较清洁。
The way they hitched a horse to the shafts is also amazing. Until the 8th century, Western people hitched a leather belt to the horse's throat, so when galloping, horses were often choked. The way Qin people did this was quite different.
它是靠胸肌力量，是吧？两个菜马两个带子裹着胸肌这个地方，两根驸马两个带子靠那个尾了，靠它肩压的力量。它是靠着肩压或胸肌的力量来进行拉扯的，就是。这是马跑快的时候，它那个带子不输配那个气管了，不压迫气管，这是比较先进的一种系架方式。
Experiments show that with the Western way of hitching, 2 horses can only pull a weight of about half a ton. With the Chinese way, 2 horses can pull around 1.5 tons. Judging from the 2 bronze vehicles, the design and manufacturing techniques of vehicles in the Qin Empire were really rather advanced. To perfect such manufacturing techniques could not be done in a short time. Why were the Qin people so far advanced in this field? The forefathers of the Qin lived in the northwest Los Plateau. In 1993, a large tomb was discovered there. It was the tomb of an aristocrat from the early Qin state. Large quantities of funeral objects were excavated. The bronze vehicle and horse were very impressive. There were complicated tubes for hitching belts and ropes and delicate decorations on the horse's head, wheel locks and brakes. Of all these objects, the most surprising was the model of the vehicle. This is the earliest evidence that China had 4-wheeled carts. Nearly 3,000 years later, it can still move. Up till now, the earliest double-shafted cart was also excavated from a Qin tomb.
最早的双元车模型的这个墓葬呢，是一个一般人的墓葬。那么里边牛的模型呢是2头牛，一头公牛，一头母牛，这就是一般农户的资产水平。可以说这种车辆的普及呢，对于交通发展呢，意义相当大。
In comparison with single-shafted carts in early human civilization, double-shafted carts needed only 1 horse and the hitching system was greatly simplified. It was also easier to drive. Double-shafted carts were a revolution in cart manufacture. The owner of this double-shafted cart was an ordinary Qin citizen. Experts estimate that double-shafted carts were very popular in the Qin state. Qin people were infatuated with vehicles. Aristocrats or common people all took pleasure in cart driving. They would have carts brought to their tombs when they died. Maybe this can explain why the Qin's logistical and transportation system was so outstanding. In the history of the world, only rarely and only few people have had the chance to stand at a turning point in history, creating history. The brilliant achievements of important military engineering feats, nationwide road networks and exquisitely made vehicles had created a strong Qin army. And the Qin army had created history.